last few months, I've been exploring the idea of getting into medium format panoramic photography, specifically 6x12 and 6x17. But I told myself before I invested into that system, I would get a bit more acclimated and a bit more comfortable with the format first. So today in Joshua Tree National Park, we're doing just that. Okay, just touched down here in Joshua Tree National Park. I don't have a ton of time. We're losing light pretty quickly, as you can see. But I see a composition over here that I really like. I'm gonna try at some point, maybe for my second composition, get kind of high up on one of these rock facings. Like I said, we don't have a ton of time. So gonna get moving and see what we can do. This is kind of the first composition I'm thinking. I kind of like the rocks over here and the sun's coming through the valley through here. So I think for this kind of wide format I'm going for will look good through here. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm in such a rush right now because I do not want to lose this light. So about to load up the old Yashica Mat and see what we can do. So you just heard Yashica Mat, and you're probably wondering, how in the world am I taking panoramic photos with that camera? Well, in my attempt to get more comfortable with the panoramic aspect ratio without necessarily investing into that system right away, is I've been using my Yashica Mat 124G to take 2 to 3 6x6 frames, and then I've been stitching them together in Lightroom. Now, I know this isn't perfect, like say like a GX617. The GX617 shoots in a singular photo, so it's a singular focal plane and there's less distortion and other things that come along with shooting with that camera. This will operate a bit more like, say, like maybe like a wide lux, like a swing length panoramic camera, if you will, because I'm putting the Yashica Mat on my tripod and then I have a Arca Swiss plate that allows me to pan the camera. So we are rotating the camera and we're not capturing a singular image on a singular focal plane. So I know it'll introduce things like distortion and things like that. But again, this is just my attempt to get more comfortable with the format before I invest into it right away. So we're not looking for perfect results here. Instead, we're just looking to get a bit more acclimated and comfortable with the format. But I must say, after looking at the scans now, I'm actually quite happy with how the Yashica Mat performed and how this whole stitching photos together panoramic experiment turned out. Okay, let me get a spot now. Let's see. Valley floor is at like a 30th of a second. Sky's at 1,000. The mountains are also about a 30th, kind of like 1/25th to yeah, maybe more around a 60th, I would say. So I think just to be safe, I'm going to shoot this at a 30th. We'll see how this goes. So frame number 1. It's very important to lock this back off before we advance, just so it doesn't move a whole lot. Okay, then we're going to go for our second here. Lock it back off. And then our final image about here. Okay, I'll be honest, I wasn't too happy with that composition. The sun just kind of dipped a bit too quick. So I think I'm gonna try to go up here into this kind of like rock facing, get up top, let the sun kind of dip below the mountains a little bit more and kind of get that afterglow of sunset, and try to get a big, more of a wide sweeping shot throughout the valley. And maybe I'll like that a bit more. Kind of tough, we just kind of ran out of time, but on to the next photo. Sun's starting to dip a bit. You can't even really see it right now because of one of the rock facings, but sun's starting to dip. So we're kind of getting that nice kind of sunset afterglow right over here. So I'm gonna try to climb this little small rock thing right here. I feel like if I climbed one of these really tall ones, my wife would have my head. So I think that'll give us a nice enough perspective though, kind of shooting down into the valley. And I'm kind of worried about that one in the distance, but we're gonna climb up and see what we're working with. Trying to do this without breaking the Yashica Mat as well. Okay, this will work. I'm gonna put that there. Great, now I gotta go get you. Okay. Oh, that was not scary at all. Oh, okay, I like this so much more. I need to hurry up and shoot this before I lose this light. Okay, I kind of have the horizon kind of not quite on the top third, but you know, a little bit past middle. I don't want it quite in the middle of the frame here. That rock mass in the background in the distance is going to be my subject here. I'm going to do this a little bit differently just because one of the good things I've noticed about, or one of the things that I've been employing while I've been doing this whole stitching thing, is I always make sure my center frame, my middle frame, is really good. That way, even if the stitch doesn't come out well, at least I still have one good singular frame. So first photo coming now. Nice. One more here. And we'll take one more here. We've gotten 2 compositions off so far. Light's dying pretty quick. I might stick around for Blue Hour and try to shoot one more. I could either shoot this scene again. I'm not a huge fan of double shooting scenes, but it is really pretty. I do have one more comp over here. It'll be a little bit of a different comp because the tree will be there's a tree that I kind of want to fill the entire frame, like directly in the middle. But I'm gonna let the light die down just a little bit more, and then I might try to shoot one more composition. I have technically, because I've shot 3, 6, I've shot 6 frames so far. I have a few frames left that I could go ahead and finish with this roll. So yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot this one more composition, I think, and then probably call it a wrap for the day. Don't you hate like when you see a composition, like kind of like with your eyes, but then you kind of look through the ground glass, through the viewfinder, and then it just like does not look like what it looks like here. I liked this, but that bush right there is kind of killing this composition for me. I don't really see anything else, unfortunately. I might go shoot this one more time just to finish the roll, and we'll try for better photos tomorrow. This could be interesting right here. I could shoot kind of with, if I back up a bit, I could shoot kind of with that rock mound kind of in between the 2 Joshua trees right here. Probably gonna have to open up the iris a bit here. I'm gonna grab a spot of the valley floor here, and we're at f4 at a second. Yeah, we're at 2 seconds at f4. So I think I do want to open up all the way though, because it'll give this composition some nice depth with the trees in the foreground. All right, frame number 1. This will be frame number 2. And then this will be frame number 3. Okay, so I wasn't even planning on shooting today. Had a few other things to do, but I'm currently driving back to my hotel, and I just saw the most perfect scene that you could possibly ask for. It's this old burger joint. I think it's closed for the night. It's got like this shopping cart out front and stuff. So, I had to pull over and take a quick photo. A couple of no trespassing signs, so let's hope we don't get kicked out. Gonna load up some Ektachrome. I have a singular roll of Ektachrome that I've been waiting for a scene like this to shoot it for. I love Ektachrome at night / blue hour just because of like that bluish tint it gives. So gonna try to pop off at least one frame or one composition. Still going to be shooting this in that panoramic format that I have been shooting all week. And if we don't get kicked out, maybe I'll try to do a few more, because there's a few compositions here I see that I really like. Got to get this first one out first because this is the one I like the most. Okay, I got a composition here that I really like, kind of like off to the side. I'm gonna just make sure that this is level. All right, we're gonna go F4. And we're gonna go for half a second. Okay, frame number 1. Frame number 2. And then frame number 3. Maybe it's time we shoot our first 6x12 panoramic. I've been doing 6x18 this entire time, but I see 2 more kind of like smaller vignettes that I think will make more sense in a 6x12 frame. So I think I'll shoot that here and see how that goes. Just grab another metering. We're still around that half a second mark. It is officially day 2 out here in Joshua Tree. I just pulled up to the trailhead for the hike that I'm about to do. This is a hike that I've done before actually in the past, but it's been a few years, and it's a place that I've always wanted to revisit. If I'm remembering correctly, there's a composition that I would love to try in this wide format that we've been shooting all week. So I'm going to throw the backpack on and get to hiking. Have about an hour and a half or so hike ahead of me, but shouldn't be too bad. Weather's beautiful. Light, it's not too bad. It's a little bright right now, but by the time we get over there, light should be a bit better. Should drop a little bit. So let's get to hiking. Hey, how's it going? Good. How's it looking up ahead? Good. Have a blessed one. Stopping to catch my breath real quick. Trying to go right up there. I don't know if you can see it. I'll step out of frame. It's that there's like an abandoned, I think it was a coal mine or a mine of some sort up there. Like I said earlier, I was here a few years ago, wanted to see if the place had changed a whole lot. Definitely looks like there was a fire that came through. Everything's a little crispy and burnt through the valley. Okay, gonna try to get up here as quickly as possible. Try to make a few photographs while we still have some nice lights kind of evenly diffused, which is really nice. Right now we kind of just have like a thin layer of clouds everywhere. So light is quite nice right now. So let's get back to it. Okay. Oh. Wow. I am so out of breath. But we finally made it. If you want to see where I am currently, we walk out to the edge. So there is our mine right over there. And I, hiked all through the valley and climbed into this huge rock formation. So what I'm thinking is that if we put the mine over here on a third, and we kind of have this mountain peak as the middle of our frame, and then we have one more mountain peak here as the left third of the frame, we should be able to go like 1, 2, 3 and have a little bit of balance in the frame, or at least that's the hope. I'm also looking at this over here with the trail going up. Let me turn you around. With the trail kind of going through the middle of the frame, and then we have these two kind of curved peaks here, but then we have the mountains in the background. I think this could make for an interesting composition too. Maybe like a bottom half heavy composition, so something like that maybe. Will look good? We'll see. I'm gonna get the tripod set up. I got Tri-X 400 already loaded into the Yashica Mat, so I'm gonna shoot this scene first over here, and then I'll figure this one out in a second. Okay, I kind of underestimated this composition. This is going to be one wide composition. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit everything quite in frame. I could shift it a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I wanted to do this tall peak in the middle and this on the side, but I think it's just going to be a bit too wide for what I need it to be. I don't know. I could maybe make it work. Let's go for it. I think I can make it work. Let's just hope Lightroom does a good job of stitching this. Don't you love overthinking? Now that I'm looking at it through the ground glass, I'm not as in love with the composition. Same story as 2 days ago, where I see it with my eyes and I'm like, oh, I love that. And then I look at it through the ground glass and I'm like, I don't love that. But honestly, I'm not seeing anything else around me. So I think it's still worth just firing this frame off and hoping for the best. I mean, you never truly know until you get your film back. I think, so what I've been doing is that I've been, taking a metering of the sky and then a metering of the ground, and then shooting kind of in between there, because at least for this composition, I kind of wanted that contrast between sky and ground. I didn't want the ground to be completely middle gray. I want it to be a little bit darker. But the problem with this is that I feel like if I underexpose the valley floor, then I'm going to lose a bit of contrast with kind of like this dirt trail that's kind of coming through the valley, kind of up over the ridge. So I think what I'm going to do is I am actually going to expose for the valley, and then hopefully when I get the scans back, I can kind of bring exposure back down, but I still have all that shadow detail. So I'll be able to kind of pull a bit more contrast and a bit more tonality through, the path and stuff. I feel like if this path that kind of goes up over the ridge, if it gets lost in the shadows, then this composition is just like worthless. So I think that gives us our best chance of saving this image. So I'm actually going to do f16 at 1/125th. All right, last frame, right around here. Looking back at the scans now, I can definitely say that this trip was a success. Again, the whole point of this trip wasn't to necessarily come away with perfect panoramic results, but instead I just wanted to get a feel for the aspect ratio and, composing with such a different format than what I'm used to. Shooting on a camera that's not necessarily a true panoramic camera, and instead having to do things like stitch multiple photos together in Lightroom introduces its own set of challenges and stuff, so the results aren't going to be perfect. But even with that being said, I'm very happy with what I walked away with. And it's definitely very encouraging looking to the future and actually investing into this system long term. I'm still deciding on systems, but I have an idea, so stay tuned for that video. I have a system in mind, and I can't wait to get my hands on that camera. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.